Yes,
The
ma'am.
topic is, the very first message which I got was Ahuja Bichu.
Ma'am, Aruja Bichu.
Yeah, Aruja Bichu.
Ma'am,
Okay, okay.
ma'am,
Yeah,
shall I start?
yeah, start. We'll
Okay.
start with the presentations one by one. Okay.
Yes.
Share
Good
your
morning,
presentation if you're at all.
ma'am.
Okay,
We have
okay.
no presentation, ma'am. We are
Okay,
we
no
have
problem. We
just
can talk
discussed on the
orally.
topic. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good morning, everyone.
Yeah.
My
Keep
name
your
is.
video on.
Okay. Ma'am, is it on?
Yeah. Yes.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Aruja Bichu. Today, me and my teammates Chaitrali and Janvi are here to speak on the topic Underseas Optical Fiber Link for Andaman and Nicobar. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who laid the foundation stone for this project on December 2018, inaugurated 2,300 kilometer submarine cable through the video conference, which provides endless cable for the islands and various opportunities. The service began on a major chunk of islands from Chennai to Port Blair, and from there a little to Andaman and Swaraj Islands is official now. Chaitrali, over to you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. The 2,313 kilometer undersea cable between the Chennai and the Port Blair was led by a state-run Bharat Sanchar Nigam Limited. The fiber-based network connects 7 islands, that is Swaraj Dweep, Long Island, Little Andaman, then Nicobar and Greater Nicobar. The telecom minister Ravi Shankar Prasad said that the digital infrastructure developed today would help in improving telecom connectivity in Andaman and Nicobar Island. Between the China and the Port Blair, there is a deep sea at some places, and despite challenges, these initiatives was completed in the record time. At the press briefing, Ravi Shankar Prasad said a tender for 354 uncovered villages in strategic and remote and bordered areas had been finalized and was under implementation. He also added that the digital satellite phone terminals are also being provided at 1,347 sites of military and paramilitary forces. Once operational, the fiber link will deliver the bandwidth of 2 into 200 gigabytes per second between China and the Port Blair, and 2 into 100 gigabytes per second between the Port Blair and the other islands. Janvi, continue. Thank you.
Yeah, continue. We are not audible, Janvi.
Hello, good morning, everyone.
Yeah.
Admiring the execution of the project that included surveying in the deep sea, maintaining the quality of the cable, and laying of the cable with specialized vessels as not an easy task. He said that the project also had to overcome some challenges such as high waves, storms, monsoon, and tough times owing to corona pandemic. Besides connecting the people inhabiting the island who can now reap all the benefits of digital India, he said the service would improve online education, telemedicine, banking system, online trading, and boost tourism. Noting that the Indian Ocean remains the center of India's trade and strategic pros, he said Andaman and Nicobar Islands is also important for the country's economic strategic cooperation. The area also plays an important role in the trade strategy for Indo-Pacific and developing stronger ties with countries in East Asia. From this presentation, we can hence conclude that we can get connectivity on the islands too. Yeah, ma'am, done. We're
Thank you.
done.
Thank you,
Yeah,
ma'am.
done it. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. It was a good presentation so that you will be learning the projects which have already completed and the projects which are going to come. That is what we need to explore this through this subject as a project management, and we need to know what project is going where, what is the budget of that, how much duration it has taken, how the life cycle goes. So that all we are supposed to learn with the project management as a subject. Anybody has any question on this topic? It's a very good topic. It's already completed one.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah. Good. When it has completed? Okay, anybody has a question on this? Okay, then we'll start with the second batch of our students. The second batch is
Ma'am, Anirudh,
Anirudh,
Dinesh and Virat.
Dinesh and Virat.
Ma'am, Virat has been
Tesla.
called from college. He has been to principal and he is interested in presenting. But we can go ahead if you would like to.
Why he has been called? Okay, that we will see later. Okay, so you both can manage.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, start.
Ma'am, I'll
First
present
introduce
my
yourself.
screen.
Okay, okay, good. You are getting ready? Okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
yeah.
Is it visible?
Yes, yeah. Yeah, it is visible. Yes, we can see.
Good morning, one and all. I'm Dinesh and here's my partner Anirudh. We are going to talk about the company Tesla. Tesla is an American electric vehicle and clean energy company based in Palo Alto, California. Tesla's current products include electric cars, battery energy storage from home to grid scale, solar products, and related products and services. Founded in July 2003 by engineers Martin Eberhard and Mark Taperning as Tesla Motors, the company's name is a tribute to inventor and electrical engineer Nikola Tesla. The next three employees were Ian Wright, Elon Musk, and J.B. Straubel, all of whom are named as co-founders of the company. Musk, who formerly served as chairman and is the current CEO, said in 2006 that the overachieving purpose of Tesla Motors is to help expedite the move from a mine and burn hydrocarbon economy towards a solar electric economy, and it would build a wide range of electric vehicles, including affordably priced family cars, and co-market solar city solar panels to do so. After 11 years in the market, Tesla ranked as the world's best-selling plug-in and battery electric passenger car manufacturer in 2019, with a market share of 17% of plug-in segment and 23% of battery electric segment. Tesla global vehicle sales increased from 50% in 2018 to 367,849 units in 2019. In 2020, the company surpassed the 1 million mark of electric cars produced. The Model 3 ranks as the world's all-time best-selling plug-in electric car with more than 5 lakh delivered. Tesla cars accounted for 81% of the battery electric vehicles sold in the United States in first half of 2020. On January 10th in 2020, Tesla became the most valuable American automaker to ever exist with a market capitalization of $86 billion. In March 2020, Tesla began deliveries of the Model Y crossover. On July 1st, 2020, Tesla reached a market capitalization of $206 billion, surpassing Toyota's $202 billion, to become the world's most valuable automaker by market capitalization. From July 2019 to June 2020, Tesla recorded 4 profitable quarters in a row for the first time, which made it
Dinesh,
eligible
just
for
just
inclusion.
one, Dinesh, 1 second.
Yes, ma'am.
You have a next slide, or this is the only one slide here?
Ma'am, we are just like we have just written the
Okay,
words.
just give it. Okay. Yeah, continue.
Um, Next is the strategy of Tesla. This is what their main starting building looked like. Let's come into the strategy. Tesla's product release strategy is to emulate typical technological product life cycles and initially target affluent buyers and then move into larger markets at lower price points. The battery and electric driven drivetrain technology for each model would be developed and partially paid for through the sales of earlier models. Basically, the Roadster was low volume and priced at $109,000. Model S and Model X target the broader luxury market, and Model 3 and Model Y are aimed at a higher volume segment, which which is the common strategy in technology industry. Relating this point to the subject, this is a part of planning and distributing the team. Like we can understand what range segments we are going to manufacture our vehicles in, and that is how it relates to this subject. According to a Musk blog post, new technology in any field takes a few versions to optimize before reaching the mass market, and in this case, it is competing with 150 years and trillions of dollars spent on gasoline cars. I'll hand over now to Anirudh.
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. So I would like to tell about their service. So unlike most vehicle manufacturers, Tesla, they get their revenue from the service after the people buy the cars, and they have made almost $500 million in 2020 based on this service. So these services include basic vehicle servicing, but since it is an electric based model, there are charges for the charging of the car, software upgrades, and connectivity. As you all know, in US there is a lot of power stations everywhere, and there is a lot of internet connectivity even in public places. So all that is a major factor for Tesla because that helps them improve their car. Future services which Elon Musk has discussed are a Tesla network and a autopilot, that is the car will drive itself, and a Wi-Fi hotspot in the car, and a Tesla App Store. So their vehicle servicing, if you see usual vehicle manufacturers, they only the only dealers can service, like the ones you buy from, only they can service. But Tesla cars are not serviced through these dealers. Tesla recommended to have any Tesla car inspected every 12,500 miles or once a year, whichever comes first. In early 2019, they said that your Tesla car does not require annual maintenance and regular fluid changes. And instead of that, they said you should have periodic servicing of things such as brake fluid, tires, air filters, etc. And Elon Musk has stated that Tesla will open body shops in 10 major US areas so that people have access to parts whenever there is any problem. As of June 2020, there are 4 Tesla-owned body shops in the US. Now I would talk about the partners with Tesla, but they have very few because if you see traditional manufacturers, they have a lot of shareholders and a lot of partners, but Tesla operates as an original equipment manufacturer, that is an OEM. And they also produce powertrain components for other automakers. Tesla has had partnerships with manufacturers such as Daimler and Toyota. And as you know, Toyota is also specializing in electric vehicles and hybrid vehicles. And it has partners with Panasonic in the R&D department and in production of batteries and solar panels. And they have also worked with Airbnb and some hotels for advertisement and for destination chargers at their locations. Now I would like Dinesh to tell you about the failures.
Okay, coming to failures, Tesla has faced more failures than it has seen success, but it was all worth it. Let me tell you a few failures. SpaceX has had more failures in the past decade, including 2016 rocket explosion that halted the company's launches. But in 2017, SpaceX had 18 successful rocket launches. It's more ever in a single year and more than any other American company. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration documented that in its investing failures in 2012 through 2015, Tesla Model S. Documents posted on Wednesday say the agency has received 11 complaints about the screens over the past 13 months in vehicles that have been in use from 3.9 years to 6.3 years. When we design a product, basically it is we have to look out for its lifetime also, how much lifespan it has. So they failed in this part. Like as we can see, the average is 3.9 years to 6.3 years. Within that range of their life cycle for one particular product, it started to show failure, I can say, reactions. And Tesla was under investigation for Model S touchscreen failures also. That was recently in June 2020. Here is a brief video. Is the voice audible of the video?
Yes, you are audible.
Video sound is not audible.
Not audible? It is audible for me.
Din-
The rest all are-
Dinesh, video sound is not audible.
Yes, ma'am.
just remove your earphones. Yeah.
Audible now?
Yes.
alive. So they rounded up the cars, shipped them off to the desert, and crushed them under the scorching sun. Death, the EV1 was a defining moment for electric vehicles, not because it was an early setback for the green movement, but because it was also a catalyst for rebirth. The destruction of the EV1 inspired the creation of Tesla Motors. In 2003, two Silicon Valley engineers, Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning, sold their e-book business for $187 million and started Tesla to build a greener car. Elon Musk joined as an early investor, leading the Series A financing and taking on several other roles as well. Tesla's plan was simple, but potentially genius. 1. Focus on lithium-ion batteries, which they expected to get cheaper and more powerful for many years. 2. Start with a high-margin, high-performance sports car. The aim was to shed existing stigma around EVs and use the revenue to fund a more affordable car. And 3. Achieve economies of scale so that Tesla could target other segments like semi-trucks. Tesla also planned to integrate energy generation and storage in the home and develop other emerging technologies like autonomous vehicles. With the plan set, the company was ready to build its high-performance, low-volume sports car, the Roadster. Tesla wanted to reduce complex manufacturing by plugging the Tesla-developed battery and powertrain into the existing chassis of the Lotus Elise. However, the company began customizing more and more parts, which made costs spiral out of control. By the end, the Roadster and the Elise had little in common, just 7% of parts by count. Tesla was on the verge of bankruptcy, and several CEOs came and went. Eventually, Elon Musk took the job in October 2008. Musk made drastic changes to save the company. He cut 25% of the workforce, recalled 75% of the Roadsters, raised $40 million of debt financing, formed a strategic partnership with Daimler, and borrowed $465 million from the U.S. government. A total of 2,450 Roadsters were made. The iconic car became the springboard for the EV revolution. Each Roadster had a 992-pound lithium cobalt oxide battery, giving the car an impressive 244-mile range. This reduced range anxiety and made EVs more appealing to the masses. In 2010, Tesla IPO'd on the NASDAQ, raising $226 million. It was the first American car company to go public since Ford in 1956. The car maker then aimed for a wider market, focusing on two new cars, Model S and Model X. The two models were poised for success, but Tesla's ultimate potential still seemed limited by the high cost of lithium-ion batteries. After all, if batteries were too expensive, EVs could never compete with gas on price, and they would never be mainstream. To combat this, in 2013, Elon Musk revealed ambitious plans for the Tesla Gigafactory, a massive operation to reach economies of scale in lithium-ion battery production, and ultimately make EVs cheaper than gas-powered vehicles. As Tesla built its Gigafactory, it hit many other milestones. The company released Autopilot, giving the Model S semi-autonomous capabilities. The Powerwall was revealed, lithium-ion battery for the home. Finally, it announced the Model 3, car for the masses in 2016. By the end of 2017, Tesla passed Ford in market value just 7 years after its IPO. To understand Tesla's ambitions for the future, you need to know two things. Their mission, which is to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy, and their strategy, which is to productize the factory so that vehicle assembly can be automated at a revolutionary pace. Tesla knows that building a few electric cars won't make a dent in the global energy picture, which is why it's using its factory tech to go bigger and better. The Tesla Semi will go from 0 to 60 with an 80,000-pound payload in just 20 seconds. Musk also says he wants to build a pickup truck and EVs designed for high passenger density urban transport. The Model Y will be a crossover built on the Model 3 platform, and there will be an ultra-low-cost model built as the company achieves scale. To do this, it will also need bigger and better gigafactories. Tesla also wants to change the entire energy paradigm by popularizing an ecosystem that allows homeowners to run their appliances and cars off green energy and even sell it back to the grid. Tesla's goals are ambitious, and the company's strategy is even considered naive by some. But if Elon Musk and Tesla can perfect the building of the machine that builds the machine, all bets will be off. The question is, will Tesla achieve their ambitious goals? Support our channel by liking and subscribing.
Okay, to give the summary of this,
Yeah.
I'll like to sum up in 2 minutes. Basically, Tesla took a loan from the government of $465 million. And it was expected for a long time that they are going to take much more time to get into market and repay their loan. But according to the reports, they already repaid their loan 10 years earlier. That means they have just cut short 10 years and are way ahead of time than their goals. That is what is proper planning. All of these steps what we are learning today, maybe we are not putting them into practical use right now, but somewhere ahead we will all relate to it. That's all from our side. Thank you.
Yeah, good. Thank you.
Thank you.
It was a good presentation, Dinesh and Anirudh. In a chat box, I have, you have shown, you are highlighted on the failure of some of the products of Tesla.
Hmm.
Yeah. Why the projects will get failed? Why there is a failure in all such type of products? It is because of the feasibility. It is because of the feasibility study they are not doing before starting the projects, or some other cases also. So the
Ma'am,
failure,
can
we
I
can
add a point here?
Yeah.
Mainly what Tesla is doing even right now, those are not ever even tried usually.
Yes.
So even the Cybertruck which they had made, so that model was not even considered. It was like a cartoon thing for so many people, but he is trying to put it into reality. So he is going to fail, but once it becomes a success, it is hitting the roof. Like it is going way
Yes.
good with the product.
No, Dinesh. I'm not talking about the failure of Tesla. I'm not
No, ma'am.
blaming
I
the
just gave an
Tesla.
example.
No, just listen here. I
Yes,
want to
ma'am.
relate this failure to the next chapter of project management. So that is
Okay.
what we are going to study in the next unit. That is whether the projects are feasible or no. Yes,
No.
we
Yes,
have
ma'am.
n number of ideas. Yeah, I want to bring the high-ended car to India. But is this feasible or no? How to study that feasibility with respect to what all the factors? So that we are going to learn in the next unit. That is second unit of the project management. In detail, we are going to study the feasibility study. Again, I'll give you the case studies, why the projects have been, how the projects, they have done the survey of this feasibility and all. So that will be the interesting topic next chapter will be, okay? Yes, thank you, Dinesh and Anirudh. It was a good presentation. And
Thank you, ma'am.
Vishal, yeah. I have some queries in a chat box. The Chennai, Andaman and Nicobar Islands submarine
Ma'am, you had
optical
asked us
fiber
the
project was started on 30th December 2018. Yeah, when it has started. Okay.
yes. You asked us when will
Yeah.
it be
So that is what
completed?
I want.
So Chaitali gave the answer in the chat box.
Let all others also know. It has started in 30th December 2018 and it's yeah. Uh, yeah. Yes, it is expected to be completed in next. Could I give my case study next? So the next batch is, can I talk
Yes, ma'am,
about
we are
it?
ready.
Yeah. Which batch is this?
Third batch, ma'am, Golden Quadrilateral project.
Yeah, Golden Quadrilateral. The
Project.
Abhishek Bambalgi and Abhishek Arlikatti and Basavraj GH and Chetan
Yes, ma'am. Chinugudi.
Chingudi. Okay. Keep your video on so that
Chetan.
I can see the students' faces because I am not aware of the students of all other 3 divisions.
Start presentation, Chetan.
Chetan. Yeah, Chetan is going to start now.
Is it on? Ma'am, is the presentation on?
No.
Yeah, start
Not
the
yet.
presentation.
Is it on now?
No. Yeah, now it is.
Now it is on. Okay, ma'am. Shall I start, ma'am?
Yeah, start it.
Yes, ma'am. Our project topic is Golden Quadrilateral project, and
I'm not able to see
this
the
is
complete, the upper part of what you have written. It is not visible. Impact of golden quadrilateral.
Chetan. Minimize that.
It's not
Some-
getting minimized.
What you have written on the first line of your presentation?
Highway to success, ma'am. Highway to success.
Impact of.
The impact of Golden Quadrilateral project.
Okay.
Okay. We are for presenting this topic, ma'am. Directly, I will go to introduction, ma'am.
Yeah.
An efficient road network is essential for the large country like our India to maintain the national integration and social economic development. And also, this project is project main intent to connect the most of the major industrial and agriculture and cultural central of India. This main aim is to connect the 4 major metro cities of India. They are Delhi, Kolkata, and Chennai and Mumbai. And when it is started project on It started on 6th January 1999. Ma'am. That time Atal B.R. Vajpayee was the Prime Minister and he has laid the foundation stone for this project. Ma'am. And at the end, this project was completed in 2012. Ma'am. Its main focus was to provide the fast transport and better connection between major cities and towns of India. And its total length was 5,846 kilometers. This project is the largest highway project in the India. Ma'am. Also, it is the 5th largest road project in the worldwide. Ma'am.
Okay.
Also this project was managed by NHAI, means National Highway Authority of India, under the Ministry of Road Transport and Highway. Ma'am. Next will be, I will hand over to Abhishek.
Good morning, everyone. This is Abhishek Bimbalgi. So, as we all know, always a project is initiated when there is a problem. Ma'am, am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible. Continue, Abhishek.
Yeah. So, let's take a look at the problems which are addressed by this project. As we all know, post-independence, the GDP of our country was down. Economy of our country was also falling. So, to save the economy, government came up with many plans, such as the 5-year plan and the economic model with the state's primacy over the individual enterprises and also the globalizations and etc. Though these plans helped our country in bringing up the MNCs and setting up the industries and supporting the local industries as well to set up in our country, but the production rate of these industries was not that good, mainly because there was a huge transportation problem and there was no proper connection available between the major cities of our country, because of which the raw materials which were required by the industries were not able to reach up to the factory within the stipulated time, which again resulted in the economic downfall. Even though the industries were growing, the industries were not able to produce or they manufacture the parts up to the mark or up to the requirement of the customers. So moving on to the next slide. Chetan, change the slide. So here in this image, we can see that the connections of this project, it connects the east, west, north and south of the country. That is mainly the Delhi, Kolkata, Mumbai and Chennai. While connecting these cities, there are all the major cities like the Bangalore, Hyderabad and other metropolitan cities or the industrialized cities are also connected via this road. So Chetan, move the next slide. Chetan, change the slide. Okay. Now coming to the benefits or the outcome of this project. The Golden Quadrilateral consists of the 6-lane roads and the possible shortest road to major cities of the countries, which facilitates very low traffic and also the better and quick transportation. It also helps the farmers and the other small town and the village people to get fast access to the market. So the quicker and better transportation also helps the various industries to coordinate well among themselves, which in turn helps the industries and also the GDP of our country to grow. So the one highway project is helping a lot to grow our GDP and the economy of our country. And this project was very crucial at that time during the 2001 period when the Atal Bihari Vajpayee was the Prime Minister. So the next slides will be explained by the Chetan.
So good morning, everyone. So I would like to tell about the cost estimation, the cost of the project. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible. Continue,
Yes.
Chetan.
I would like to tell about the cost of the project. So it was a very huge project. The Golden Quadrilateral project was a very huge project which consists of making the roads 2-lane or 6-lane road, which involved a lot of
Your voice is breaking.
That is
Chetan, your voice is breaking.
Yes, ma'am.
Your voice is breaking.
Is it now audible, ma'am?
Yeah. Now it is clear.
The Indian government initially estimated that it had around, the cost was estimated approximately around 6 billion rupees, that is approximately $8.4 billion at 1999. But however, with more efficiency, as the work was done with more efficiency, the cost was reduced by half almostly. It was near to around 3, not 8.58 billion dollars, which was a very cost-cutting work. So now I would like to tell about the various stakeholders in the project. So it was a project which could not be done only with one person or only with one organization. There were a lot of organizations and stakeholders involved in it. The major were NHAI and L&T, that is the Larsen and Toubro, LG engineers, and so on. And the finance for this project is also obtained from the taxes on petrol and diesel, which amounts to 200 billion rupees, though external assistances around 100 billion from the market borrowings and 40 billion from private sector participations. A lot of people like engineers, project managers, designers, architects were involved in it. So next, I would like to tell you all about the challenges that faced during this project. So there were a lot of allegations on this project. So one person called from Jharkhand named Satyadev Dubey in August 2003, he wrote a letter to Prime Minister at that time saying that there were a lot of corruption occurring and the roads were not being constructed as per the rules. By mistake, the Prime Minister leaked his name, and as a result, he was murdered also. Another main thing, the main problems that the people experienced during this project was that the occupation of the land. The farmers were not ready to give their land because they earned their livelihood from it. Convincing them was also a major task to them. As a result, the government provided various compensations and stipends to them in order to recover all this. So that's all. Thank you.
Yeah. It is. When this project has started?
6 January 1999.
19. How many years project it is?
It's 13 to 14 years, ma'am.
13 to 14. Which part?
Yes, in between.
Which part they have completed now? In which this thing? Around 3 to 4 phases of a project are there, I think so.
Yes.
What, ma'am? We are not.
The first phase is completed?
Yes,
The
ma'am.
first phase, the project is complete.
Almost completed, ma'am. Done with that. They were done with that.
Done.
It completed in 2012 only.
12 itself.
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Basavaraj
Yes, ma'am.
was not there?
I was explained introduction part was explained by me. Hello.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
Basavaraj was not a part
I'm there, ma'am.
of this presentation.
Ma'am, we are not able to hear you, ma'am. Your voice is breaking.
Darshan. Yes. You are ready with the what one?
Yes, ma'am, I'm ready, ma'am. Ma'am, we are not able to hear you.
Am I audible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, okay.
Due to network issue, is it okay if I continue with the PPT?
still your voice is breaking.
Yeah, okay. Start with the next batch. If PPT is not ready yet, just you can give your points on that. Okay. It is not must you need to present with the PPT itself.
Excuse me, ma'am. Good morning to
Yeah.
everyone. Yeah, ma'am. I'm Ishaz Khan Param from D Division, ma'am.
Okay.
I want to talk about Tata Company, ma'am.
Okay. Vande Bharat Express.
Yes, ma'am. Ratan
Okay.
Tata is a single and lead a modest lifestyle is a bachelor apartment, ma'am. Hello, ma'am.
Yeah.
Is it audible?
Yeah, you are audible. You are audible. You can continue. First, introduce yourself, your batch members, then give your topic name, then start. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, myself, Ishaz Khan Patan. I'm from D Division, ma'am.
Okay. Division is not required.
Ma'am.
Okay, you can. Okay. Yeah, continue.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am. Ratan Tata, ma'am. The Tata Group of Industries, ma'am.
Okay. Yes, continue. Irfan.
Yes, ma'am. Wait, ma'am.
Your presentation I am not
Network
able
issue.
to see. Yeah. Take 2 minutes of a
Yeah,
time.
ma'am. Yeah, ma'am. Ma'am, earlier life, Ratan Tata, ma'am. I want to something telling about. Ma'am, Ratan Tata was born on 28 December 1937 in Mumbai, India. Ratan Tata's father was Naval Tata, mother was Suni. Naval Tata was adopted by Jamsetji younger childless son Ratan Tata, ma'am.
Yeah.
And ma'am, at an age of 7, Ratan Tata's parents got separated. He was raised by his grandmother Navji Bai. From his childhood, he was interested in cars, ma'am. Ratan Tata never married. In Mumbai, he would date the off. Was even engaged once about the broke it before the cars should be printed, ma'am. When the Ratan Tata is completely come to the younger stage of interesting in cars, ma'am, Ratan Tata is a single lead to
Okay.
a modest lifestyle. His
Okay.
bachelor apartment, ma'am.
Irfan, you are presenting, you are doing the presentation with the presentation PPT or just orally you are talking about?
Ma'am, overall talking, ma'am, because
Okay.
I've never, I don't have PPT, ma'am, because of
Okay, no problem. Continue.
um, earlier life, ma'am. The US educated bachelor lives alone with his two German shepherds, ma'am. He sometimes likes to fly private jet himself, ma'am.
Yeah.
Some people call him the Steve Jobs of India.
Okay.
Ma'am, when he returned to India 1962 after turning down the job IBM on the advice of JRD, he was sent to Jamshedpur to work on the shop floor at Tata Steel, ma'am. And coming to through in 1971, he was appointed the director of National Radio Electronics, NELCO, ma'am. In 1981, JRD Tata stepped down as a Tata Industries chairman, naming Ratan as his successor. He was heavily criticized for the lacking experience in running a company of the scale of Tata Industries. And Ratan Tata is one of the biggest industrialists in our India. He's doing a lot of struggle to modify first become India to other country, ma'am, chasing other country.
Okay.
I am, ma'am. That's it.
Yeah. Next. Who is next?
Ma'am, I'm only one.
Yeah, the only one you are presenting. Okay. Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay. The next topics will continue in tomorrow's class. And when I started my class, around 42 students were logged in. Now hardly 36 students are there. So those who have left, you need to rejoin so that I can take the attendance. Okay. And one more thing I wanted to, yesterday I have shared the scanned copy of the first unit. So in a WhatsApp group I have shared. So just you can go through that, the textbook. If you have any doubts, we will discuss tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll continue with the rest presentations of the rest case studies. Okay. So tomorrow, whoever is presenting, try to relate your project to the project life cycle. So in the conception phase, that 5 phases are there, no? Try to relate it to the life cycle, then present your case study. Is it fine for everyone, those who are presenting tomorrow? Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
So try to relate your project case study to the life cycle of that project. How they have started, how they have got an idea, how they have finalized, what all the definitions, that so that you will be able to understand more about the projects if you are going in that life cycle way, so that you can understand the life cycle of the project. Okay. So 36 are here. Ask everyone to rejoin. All others, let me wait for 2-3 minutes. Put the message in a group so that they will join back the class.